Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Rooted Collective. My name is Haley and today I'll be speaking on how I got an internship at Nike. Now, full disclaimer, I did not accept the internship at Nike, so I can't speak on how the internship actually was, but I thought I'd go through and tell my experience on the interview process and negotiating, all that fun stuff. So we'll start off with the application. I think it's really important to have your cover letter down as well as your resume, and we'll have more videos in the future just explaining how to best format your resume and cover letter. But for now, I'll briefly touch on what I put in my cover letter. Now, for every cover letter, I always start it with why I want to work for the company, what speaks to me about the company. For Nike, it was very easy because Nike's just a cool company and I love shoes and I wanted to work at Nike. And then from there, I usually take about 3 items from the job description and kind of mention how my resume links to that. For example, if the job description said something about working well with others, collaboration, then on the cover letter I would put, I collaborated with a team when I was in this club at school, which resulted in X, Y, Z, whatever. Just make sure to link the job to you. And then in the closing part, I just said this is why I would be the best fit for Nike. For the resume, look at the job description and kind of tailor your resume to that. For example, I studied marketing, so it was always, is this job more sales focused or is it more creative, branding, all that kind of stuff focused? And for this job, it was more creative focused, so I put more of my creative experience on my resume rather than the super analytical stuff. So make sure you tailor your resume to the job description instead of just using the same resume for every single thing. For example, on this resume, I made sure to include stuff from streetwear designing and building a community through that. And I took off some academic project that was super analytical. Once you got all that good to go, you're ready to apply and cross your fingers that you hear back. I remember Nike's being kind of later in the internship application season, whatever you want to call it. So I had a lot of practice interviewing at other companies. And at this point, I already had an offer from Pepsi. So I had that in my back pocket, but I was like, I really want to work at Nike, so let's see what I can do here. There's a basic phone screening, tell me about yourself, blah, blah, blah. Are you okay with working in this location, which I think was Oregon? Nike was in Oregon, and then she was like, we also own Converse and have positions open there. Are you open to Converse? And I was like, yes, I love Converse. I would work anywhere as long as I am in and working for you guys. She put my application in both places and I ended up hearing back from Converse. And the title for the Converse internship that I was interviewing for was called Content Creation Internship. And so I interviewed with her and it was mainly creative focused. So if you're doing any kind of creative role, make sure to have your portfolio ready. They want to see what you've been working on, where your ideas come from, your thought process, your creative process, through all of that. So have your portfolio ready, tailor it up as much time as you spent on your resume, put that into your portfolio. Anyways, so I interviewed with them. It was very creative driven. Do you work well with others? How do you take feedback? That's a big thing in the creative industry. You got to be prepared for people to shoot down your work and tell you it's the worst thing they've ever seen. And you got to go back, redo it, submit it back to them 20 times in a row before you get the final product. Either way, they want to know that you can take feedback well, criticism well, and that you ask questions, and most importantly, that you work well with others. So I remember when we were going through my portfolio, she wanted me to walk her through one of my projects. I took this one project that I did that was more streetwear focused to kind of tie it into the whole Converse content creation. And I explained my thought process behind the design and why, what my intentions were with it and how I had a whole marketing strategy for it, the content that went into the marketing, social strategy, all that. Basically your whole process from the initial idea to how you execute it at the end. Just walk them through all of that, be precise, have examples, and have examples of the impact of your work. She was loving it, she was eating it up. I was asking a lot of questions back. You wanna make sure you interview them back, kind of. You wanna know it's a good fit with the company culture. You wanna ask them good questions. You just wanna know what you're getting yourself into ahead of time. She had a lot of great things to say about Converse and the whole company culture and the Boston office. And I was sold. I would have been at Converse if I didn't get the Google offer. I was offered the position for $23 an hour which was lower than the offer that I had in my back pocket, the Pepsi offer. But the bonus was $5,000, a signing bonus, which this was back in the fall of 2021, like in November. So with inflation and everything, hopefully the pay and everything went up, but just keep that in mind if they do offer you something and it's lower than the $23 an hour, try to negotiate that. And I will say that they were super like urgent and pushy. I think I was offered it on like a Wednesday and they wanted the answer by the Friday. And this was the week before Thanksgiving. So like you have all these final projects for school wrapping up. It was really like, it was crunch time. I had to figure it out. And so I came back to the Converse lady and I was like, hey, I am not gonna be able to make a decision in 2 days. Like I at least need the weekend to figure it out. I called her, explained all that stuff. And she was like, we can give you until Monday, end of day, or maybe it was like Tuesday. I feel like it was Monday. But she was very pushy, but she was super nice. Like, props to them. That's how they get their interns locked in before they can go to another company. And I understand she has to get people in the internship. Luckily, I heard from Google at like 4 p.m. on the Monday, and then I could come back to her at Converse and be like, hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. I enjoyed learning so much about the company and you and whatever. Just like wrap it up nicely and thank them for their time. But in the end, they still sent me the you got an internship package, like the care package. I think they send it to anyone that gets offered the internship. So it came with like a water bottle, one of those like things you put on the back of your phone, like the wallet thing, some pens, and some pins. They were super nice, even though I declined. So like that definitely tells you something about the company culture. Like you're not just a number, like you mean something. At least I'd like to hope so. But yeah, that's a brief overview of my experience applying to Nike, getting the internship, and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go too in depth and like bore you with a lot of details, but if you guys want to know more, feel free to comment down below and I'll be down there answering questions that you might have. And also leave a like if you like these types of videos. We're trying to bring new content to you guys, new ideas, especially during this busy like intern season. If you have more ideas for videos or what you want to hear, also comment that down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, remember to stay rooted.